Hi everyone, I'm Maria McLachlan and I've set myself a fun project to make some videos for a page on my website that I've dedicated to the bad arguments, and that really is an understatement by the way, the bad arguments of people who are enthralled to transgender ideology. That means people who are otherwise known as trans activists, handmaidens, celebrities, or just people who don't give a toss about women's rights and sex-based protections. Now that page has been on my website since the site was launched, and I've added to it quite a bit over the last couple of years, but to my dismay, I still see these arguments, for want of a better word, being regurgitated by assorted simpletons every single day on social media. It's almost as if they haven't read my page explaining why everything in their playbook is so excruciatingly bad. I wonder if any of them will have the guts to watch these videos and engage with what I say here. I'm not holding my breath, but you never know. Now, before I start, I'm increasingly seeing this ridiculous claim that the term transgender ideology, or just gender ideology, is a dog whistle, even a far-right dog whistle. No, it isn't. The term transgender ideology refers to a collection of ideas that are promoted by trans activists and supporters. Many trans people disagree with some or all of them, and calling it a far-right dog whistle is just another way to try to get critics like me to shut up in your dreams. So to start with the very first one, the core tenet of transgender ideology. It's trans women are women and trans men are men. Now, there may be coherent, evidence-based, logically sound, scientifically supported arguments in favour of that statement, but I doubt it. I certainly haven't heard any. None of us have, and we've been trying for years to draw out the reasoning of people who say this. I know it gives a lot of them a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. Celebrities like Daniel Radcliffe, for example, can bask in the warm glow of approval by other misogynists. But how did they arrive at such a definitive conclusion, and one that they tend to repeat like a parrot on amphetamines? What could possibly make a person who was born male a woman? The truthful answer to that question is nothing. There's only one way you get to be a woman, and it's not hard. First, you get born female, then you grow up. Simple as that. Born female, make it through puberty into adulthood, and Bob's your uncle, and not your aunt. You don't have to do any more than that to be a woman and to be perceived as one. There are very few women who are mistaken for men unless they deliberately choose a style of appearance that is considered masculine. That's what gender is. It's masculine and feminine, not man and woman. These are not genders. They are the words we use for adults of the two sexes in humans, male and female. Masculine and feminine are social constructs. They refer to societal expectations of how people are supposed to look and think and behave based on what sex they are. And we should do away with them. Let people express themselves however they like, as long as they hurt nobody else. But it's hard, especially when these stereotypical ideas of what is masculine and what is feminine are being reinforced by a regressive ideology that is being promoted in just about every sphere of life. not liking the ideas and expectations that are strongly associated with masculinity and femininity, changing your appearance to one that's more strongly associated with the other sex, taking up the interests more strongly associated with the other sex, changing your name to one that reflects you better, you feel, altering your appearance through medical interventions. None of these things make you a woman or a man. Feeling unhappy about your body, your life, what is expected of you, wishing you'd been born the other sex, doesn't mean you were born in the wrong body. Nobody is. Now, I suspect none of us would care too much about men pretending to be women and vice versa, were it not for the fact that throughout history and across cultures, men, I'm not saying every single man, but enough men have taken advantage of their, on average, greater size and strength to dominate, subjugate, exploit, and abuse women. So you can't, in all fairness, expect us to just forget all that and welcome you into womanhood, especially when you can't even say what a woman is. You can't even define the word woman in a way that is meaningful, coherent, and non-circular. Let's have a look at some of the answers that trans activists give to that question of what is a woman. The definition of women are women. Okay, English isn't Claudia's first language, so we can forgive the grammatical error. But I'm wondering if she actually knows what the word definition means, or does she think it means something else entirely? On Facebook, I asked some of my friends what word they would put in place of definition in that phrase. Here are some of their answers. The totality of women are women. The enemy of women are women. The bane, the scourge. I think some of them were having a bad day. The strength of women are women. The saviours of women. The mothers of women are women. That's mothers, not brothers. Not one person came up with the definition of women are women, and that's because it doesn't make sense, Claudia. No, it really doesn't. Okay, I see we have a typical trans activist here, so let's just leave it. Just know that when somebody asks you to define what a woman is, they're asking you to explain what the word woman means, so that we know you don't think it's an armadillo or a kettle or a man. If you just say that the definition of woman is woman, that's circular. It doesn't explain anything. Most people don't have a problem coming up with the definition of the words woman and man that is useful and makes sense. Adult human, female, or male, it does the job fine. But trans ideologues don't like that definition. Yet if you ask them to give their own definition, it's like asking them to explain quantum electrodynamics in Swahili. They just can't do it. Time and again, they will come up with answers like this. People who self-identify as women are women. A woman is someone who identifies as female. Clear enough for you? Well, no, Max, it isn't clear because female is the name of a sex that has a specific function. Here's developmental biologist Emma Hilton. Female, any embryo who, at the point of gonadal differentiation, proceeds along an ovarian pathway and not a testes pathway. Got that? There are two developmental pathways, one towards the production of sperm, the other towards the production of ova. Female, a person whose reproductive role Actual, potential, historical, or broken is in the production of ova. You can't identify as having a function you don't have. But maybe Max has a different definition of female. Here it comes. Talking from a binary, yada, yada, yada. Got it! A female is someone who doesn't identify as male, of course. I assure you, I did not go looking for the most stupid people on the planet to find these comments. They are absolutely typical of trans activists, and they're so charming too. Is this how we're to bring up our children from now on? That they must accept that anyone who says they are a woman is a woman, even if they look like this, or this, or this. Might there not be a tiny problem with that in terms of safeguarding? Look up the word grooming. These three are convicted sex offenders who claim to be women. Okay, this is the one that really made me laugh out loud when I first saw it. A female stroke woman ideally has a vagina, but not always. Stereotypically, but not always, has more feminine attitudes. Now, we're not told what this particular individual thinks are feminine attitudes, but I'm grateful to him for illustrating my point that trans ideology depends on having regressive ideas about gender, about what is masculine and what is feminine, and that subjective tastes and interests and feelings trump biology. Ideally, a woman has a vagina and likes all pink girly things and is gentle and nurturing and womany, but she might have a penis and be about as feminine as Olympic gold medal winning decathlete, thrice married, father of 6 children, Caitlyn Jenner. Okay, here is Sean Fay, who's a bell end. Woman is a loose shifting constellation of biological, political and cultural phenomenon which vary according to context, place and time, blah, 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 blah. It is impossible to mandate exclusive criteria. Oh, how convenient. Oh. A woman is nothing and everything. A feeling of womanhood makes you a woman. Look into my eyes, not around my eyes, in my eyes. There is no such feeling as womanhood. There is no right way to feel in order to be a woman. It has absolutely nothing to do with feelings. So just cut that shite out. Know when to button it, beardo. Finally, let's hear from Kate Sanchez. A woman is the most powerful thing in existence. You sure? She can quiet a crying child with just a look. She can silence a man with a glare or gesture. She knows the world is vast and chaotic, but can impose order and justice. That is what a woman is. So I'm not a woman because I can't do any of those things, not even the first one with the crying kid, let alone bring world peace. And that's not for want of trying. Mind you, Kate isn't a woman either. Kate is just another obnoxious trans activist with a penchant for ludicrous fantasy. Enough already. I'll finish by saying that what I find most remarkable about guys like Kate Sanchez and Sean, what was his name, Fay, is that by ignoring the correct, coherent definition of woman in favour of something made up and patently absurd just because it suits their personal agendas. In doing that, they seek to deprive women, I mean actual women, not men pretending to be women, they deprive us of the right to define and describe our own existence. These are entitled men doing what men throughout history have done, and that is adjudicating on what it is to be a woman. And they have far less empathy with women than most men who aren't pretending to be women. in my opinion. That's all for now. Next time I'll say something about the different kinds of women in transgender ideology. Thanks for watching. Bye.